Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. We should not obviously take everything what the newspapers are reporting as, being the truth. Not necessarily because they lie or they lie by omission or, they have an agenda, that's for sure. And they, as we, have limitations, intellectual limitations and moral limitations and so on. Therefore, when, let's say, this newspaper takes this story from another newspaper, and that newspaper uses its assessments or uses its connections and gets its information from other people who also have an agenda, things are very murky. You have to, as I said many times, figure things out using multiple sources and so on. I'm not going to get into that deeper than I already did. So we have here Wall Street Journal is taken. This article comes from Russia Today, but Russia Today uses Wall Street Journal to make a claim which I think is valid, I think is accurate, but I'm not certain of the details. So, for instance, you say, well, he came to the party because, and I'm going to give you a reason. The only thing that is certain is that he came to the party. We don't know exactly the reasons. The source will provide you the reasons they gathered from whatever information they got, but maybe there's more to the story. So let's look at this little story coming from, as I said, Wall Street Journal via Russia Today. And this is from the 24th of August, 2023. US and Ukraine at odds over counteroffensive tactics. Wall Street Journal. Well, it's a fact that Ukraine's counteroffensive doesn't go well, or at least not as expected whatsoever. It was supposed to be obviously a 3 days attack, break through the Russian defense lines, go through them. Russians are running away. These guys go in, they surround whatever big military like Stalingrad, and then the Russians are all in disarray, and they're gonna get their underwear, yellow underwear, and they're gonna say, "Peace, we don't want to fight. You're too strong with the Americans. You guys are too tough for us." Well, that was a ideological, not based on evidence and reality assessment of what, but they tried. I don't think they had everything they needed. And the Russians also are not, as we're told they are, rowdy, disorganized, undisciplined, and their equipment, military equipment is rusty. Again, mischaracterization of reality. Therefore, you're going to have a bad assessment. So, here you have Washington is reportedly frustrated with Kiev's reluctance to follow its advice in the conflict with Russia. Now, this advice, I don't think it's really an advice. I think it's more than an advice. And besides, why would the Americans? I'm playing dumb. Maybe I am, but right now. I think I'm playing. Maybe I am always, but only right now I'm doing it purposely. So. Why would the Americans be involved in any military advice to a country that fights another country, and America is not involved? I haven't heard Zimbabwe calling Zaluzny and giving Zimbabwe's military advice on the Ukrainian counteroffensive. Why is that? Because that's not Zimbabwe's business what those guys are doing with the Russians. They're not involved. So these guys are involved. To what level? I think all the way. We're going to find out in years when the information will be allowed to be published. And it's going to be published all of a sudden. Many books are already written already. The numbers, they're waiting for the numbers and the signal. When they're going to say, yes, you can publish it, they're going to put the new numbers, the current numbers, and then he's going to publish, and you're going to have a lot of best-selling authors. I don't know, Bernstein or Kosman and others like that. American officials are frustrated with Ukraine's reluctance to accept their advice. I don't think that's advice, it's more than advice, on how to conduct the counteroffensive against Russian forces, the Wall Street Journal reported on Thursday. And if I think it's not an advice, that means there's a big problem between these guys and the other guys, which are the Americans. The newspaper claimed it was still not too late for Kiev to follow instructions follow instructions. So when you go in a room and someone barks and gives instructions to everybody else, what do you think that person's position is in the group? A leadership position. So when I give you instructions to do something and you don't follow them, that means I'm in charge. If you give me instructions and I don't follow them, that means I am the subordinate here. Don't know? So anyway, this is what the Russians are saying. Remember, I don't know if that was a direct quote from Wall Street Journal, but maybe the Russians want to make it that way, which I think it is that way. But that's my gut feeling. So the newspaper claimed that follow instructions from Washington and utilize the training and tens of thousands of Ukrainian troops have received from NATO nations. Tens? What? Training. Okay. The outlet noted, however, that the two sides are still at odds about how to turn the tables on the Russians, and quote, before winter sets in. According to the Wall Street Journal, sources, plural, the US believes that the amount of Western military aid sent to Ukraine is enough to breach Russian defenses, although the window of opportunity is closing. And I'm quoting, we built up this mountain of steel for the counteroffensive. We can't do that again. End quote. One former US official explained, it doesn't exist. End quote. The Ukrainian military leadership has attempted to deflect criticism by claiming that the Americans do not understand the kind of warfare that Kiev is engaged in. The Wall Street Journal added, but you don't understand something else. Let's say the Americans are not involved in this. They just provide military and they give advice. But this is like, I use this analogy many times, it's like you get married with someone. And when you get married with that someone, do not allow your parents or that someone's parents, which are going to be your in-laws, to get involved in your family. That is this way. I saw that in many occasions. Not in mine, because I did something else. I said, okay, from the very beginning. It's right here. You guys, if you want to help us, that's good, but you have no say. So if the in-laws help you with something, with some money, a loan, something like that, then they think they can come and tell you what to do. So the same, if I give you a present, I don't tell you how to use the present. I give it to you, it's yours. But Americans give you a present, but say, it's a present, it's yours, it's aid. But hey, you should use that like that, you should use that like that, you should... No, you gave it to me, that's my job, you. We're not involved here, in-laws or my parents, it's me and her, all right? But here, these guys think that, hey, if I give you this, I can get in and tell you what to do. And I'm quoting, this is not counterinsurgency, this is Kursk. General Valery Zaluzny, Kiev's top military commander, told his U.S. interlocutors, according to an unnamed American official. This is Kursk. Zaluzny was referring to the world, okay, we know that one. Figures in Washington want Zelensky to concentrate Ukrainian forces near the southern city of Tokmak for a push towards the Sea of Azov, which they're trying, the article claimed. It added that U.S. officials disapprove of President Vladimir Zelensky's focus on attempts to retake the city of Artemovsk in the east, which Kiev calls Bakhmut. The Ukrainian leader, who has invested symbolic significance in the settlement, reportedly argued that recapturing it would boost troops' morale. U.S. officials have long said Artemovsk has no strategic value, urging the withdrawal before Ukrainian troops were ousted from it in late May. The Wall Street Journal said Kiev has made adjustments in recent weeks, but taking a defensive posture in the east. I'm going to show you what they want on a little. Let's go together. Why not? Right here. So this is where they are concentrated. They want to take Artemov, Bakhmut, which is right here. Artemovsk, right here. But the Americans tell them, don't forget about it. Don't go on offensive over there. They're too strong over there. Go here. Go in this area. They'll go in this area, in which they do. The Ukrainians are doing that to get to Azov Sea, the Sea of Azov, which is right here. Cut them in half. That's why they say. And they're trying. But these guys are saying, no, you're not trying hard enough. You know what? This like I'm gonna give you this analogy. You're like in a making love, and your partner said that I don't know, deeper or something. Well, I can say tighter. How about that? You know what I mean? That's all I got, baby doll, and that's all you got. So we gotta make it work somehow. Yeah, deeper. Okay, tighter. How about that? Anyway, let's move on to back to the article here and finalize it. Russia has argued that the US is using the Ukrainian people as cannon fodder in the proxy war against Moscow. The Russian military has claimed that Ukrainian troops' losses during the first 2 months of its summer counteroffensive were more than 43,000 people. We had Colonel McGregor, a retired US Army colonel. He claimed that in an interview with Tucker Carlson 3, 4, 5 days ago or so, I made a video on that. He said that actually the Ukrainians lost about 400,000 people. And indeed about between 40 and 60,000 in the counteroffensive. 400,000 from the beginning, a year and a half. So yeah, I give you the aid and I tell you what to do, and then they have disagreements. They shouldn't have any disagreement. It's you, because if you listen to these guys, they say, no, we don't have anything to do with the operation, what the Ukrainian military does, and what the decisions the Ukrainian government makes or takes regarding negotiation or peace process. We have nothing to do with that. It's just Ukraine's thing. I don't think so whatsoever. I think I have a gut feeling, not a gut feeling. It's based on analysis. I'm tossing away the bullshit, the gut feeling. You have to say that, because then they say, hey, where is your evidence? And I have to provide the evidence like 3 books. If you give me time, I can provide you with evidence. But hey, I got a gut feeling that actually if the Americans tell Zelensky stop, he will stop. If he doesn't, he's going to be replaced. That's regarding this guy. And about the military, I think the Ukrainians, it's very dangerous, because the guys with guns always have the power in any society. You can see it here clearer now than before. Before it was hidden because you had just a few media outlets that had the monopoly of the news. Right now you have a lot of people with a lot of telephones and a lot of ability to post certain things, and you get more information. Before, no. They had you by the balls. Whatever they told you, that's what they knew. Right now, it's not so. They can told you that, and you can verify it with 1,000 other sources of information. But they're fixing that up. You know what? To protect you, to keep you safe. They will not allow other opinions and other evidence to come to you, because they want to protect you from being propagandized, misinformed. Therefore, while you say what everybody else is saying, the mainstream media says, while you say that, then it's going to be accepted. So you will not find the alternative or opposite view on things. Why? You're going to find everybody saying the same thing. So basically the mainstream media got what it wanted. Uniformity. They got you by the balls again. All right, that's the way it works. What do you think? Remember, the mass media can get a candidate up or can be done with a candidate. Right now, not so. You can go only online and make a campaign on your line without the big 4 or 5 media conglomerates, and still be very, very well known. I have an example with the Romanian party that did everything online and in some parliament. Everything online. They were bashed by the mainstream media for the reason because they were called this extremist. It's called AUR. Those guys, oh, bad people, ooh, whatever. I'm just giving you the example. They did everything online, and they got in the parliament. How? Because the alternative. They're going to close that, because they're going to say AUR is a extremist, whatever. If you provide any information on AUR, you're going to be, we're going to protect you from these guys' propaganda and evil hatred and all that. We're not going to allow anything unless it comes from us and is written a certain kind of way, so AUR is portrayed as bad idiots and cavemen and so on. The same here. So anyway, my friends, yes, they are at odds a little bit, because the Americans can put the plug off out of Ukraine, and you can continue being being a rogue state, which I think it's already there, but still follows orders. That's all. Remember the Mujahideens in Afghanistan, 1979, 1980, they were helped and armed and trained by these guys, and then they went their way, turned into something else, and then from there something else, Mujahideen, some of them turn into Al Qaeda, from Al Qaeda turn into ISIS, and who knows whatever they're gonna, I don't know, metamorphosize into. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.